Welcome guys. In this video we are going to look at some rewrites, and these rewrites will focus on how to change active voice sentences into passive voice sentences. And we also have 10 advanced words that I would like to share with you guys. Before we begin, I want to give you my phone number for those that may be interested in my online class. So 0962 895804. Then the charge per subject is 75 kwacha. So as you can see, I've given you a simple promotion from 100 kwacha per subject to 75 kwacha per subject. Now let's begin with our first word. So we have been given cumbersome. So in case you find this word maybe in your, let's say, conversation, your everyday conversation, or sometimes maybe in a movie or in your comprehension. So what is really meant by this word? So cumbersome simply means difficult to use. So difficult to use, or the synonyms that we can use is complicated. So something that is cumbersome is complicated or intricate. It's complex, which means it's made up of several parts, and because of that it's hard to use that part. So there are some machines that are cumbersome, meaning those machines are made up of several parts, of which now it's difficult to use them. Then the second one is optimistic. So to be optimistic simply means to be hopeful and confident about the future. So simply means like you are those people that are positive in life. For example, if you are positive that this year you are going to make it, you are optimistic. Pessimistic simply means being negative. So that's what it means by optimistic, being hopeful. And this is the spirit that you need to possess. You need to be hopeful in whatever that you are doing in life. The third one, we have invincible. Invincible, to be invincible, like you are strong, you are too powerful to be defeated. So say, too powerful to be defeated. Then this should be prevail. So to prevail simply means to overcome or to defeat. For example, if you say, I encountered a very serious situation and I prevailed, it simply means you overcame that, you defeated that situation. Then detrimental, tending to cause harm. So we just say tending to cause harm. Let's say if someone says this type of food that you are eating is detrimental to your health, it means that at one time it can cause harm to your health. Then we have elusive. So elusive, number one, difficult to find. Not only find, but difficult to catch or difficult to understand. You can also use it for example, if you are studying something and you can't understand it, you can say it's elusive, meaning it's difficult to comprehend. Then skeptical, this should be C. So skeptical, being skeptical is having doubt that something will happen. So that is Z, skeptical. Then number 8, intrigued. Intrigued is like interested, wanting to know more of something. You say, I'm intrigued by this story. It simply means that you are interested and you want to more of that. Then a brothel is a house where women work as a prostitute. So say a house or a building. They need to anticipate. The last one is to predict or to foresee. So at least I've shared the 10 of these advanced words. And also, if you have time and you can share with me the advanced words that I also would like to learn from you guys. Now, let's now look at the lesson for today. So we have rewrites where we have the passive and the active voice. Now, first let's define what voice is in English. So voice simply means the form of a verb which indicates that the subject of the sentence performs an action or an action is performed or done it. So now we have two voices. The first voice is where we are given the active voice. So sometimes out of the 10 rights that you are given, one may involve the information on how to change an active voice into passive or from passive into active voice. So it's up to you to identify the type of voice that you have. Then that will give you the picture of the voice that you're going to use now when answering the question. So we are taught the active voice, the form of the verb in which the subject of the sentence is the doer or performer of the action. Now, to understand this carefully, we need to understand what is meant by a subject. So in English, subject represents a noun. So it's a noun. Then the subject of a sentence is the doer of the action or the performer. So from the example given, we are told the cat chased the mouse, which means that the cat is the doer, and we can see that the chasing was done by the cat. So the cat in our case is the subject. Then from there, we need also to understand the verb. The verb can simply mean the state or an action, but in our case, we are looking at the action. So we have the verb, which is our chest. Then let's not focus on the article the focus is on this one. So this is also a noun, but in this case, this is the receiver of an action, or it's an object where the action occurs. So this one is all called the object. So under the active voice, you have the subject, the verb, and the object. Now to understand how these must be in a sentence, we have a simple formula. So the simple formula for active voice, the active voice follows this formula. So the first one is the subject. So you need to have the subject plus the verb plus the object. So the formula is SVO. You can look at it. So the cat is the subject, the chess is the verb, the mouse is the object. So that is the simple formula that I can share with you about an active voice. Now for passive voice is just the reverse of the active. So let's look at the passive in terms of the definition. So this is the form of the verb in which the subject of the sentence is now affected by the action of the verb. So now look at the formula. The mouse was chased by the cat. So instead of placing the cat before the verb, we have placed the mouse before the. So the formula has changed. Under the passive voice, it follows the formula object. So we have object plus verb plus C subject. So whenever you interchange this, then the sentence has changed from active into passive. Now the meaning is still the same. So if one says the cat chased the mouse and the other one says the mouse was chased by the cat, the two sentences have the similar meaning. Now let's look at some more examples. So for these examples, what I want is we identify the sentence, then we look at the beginning and we also answer according to the rules. So the first one, we have Peter kicked the ball. So we need to identify the nature of this voice. So this is an active. So how do you know that this is an active? Let's look at Peter. Peter is the subject. Then kicked is the verb. The kicking was done on the ball, so this one is our object. So we have the formula SVO. So this is an active. Then we are told the ball. So we are beginning with the object. So we are changing from an active into a passive. So I'm going to say the ball was kicked. Kicked by, now you mentioned the subject, so by Peter. We go to number 2. Armed police officers gunned down the aggravated robbery specialist. Full stop. So is this an active or passive? So pause the video and give it a try. So this is an active voice. Why? We have armed police officers is our subject because they did the gunning down. Then gun down is our verb. You know, it's a phrasal verb, but let's just focus on the word verb. Then aggravated robbery specialist is our object because this is the receiver of the action. So we are given the sentence in active and we want to change that one into the passive. Begin. The aggravated robbery specialist, say, was gunned down. Was gunned down by armed police officers. Okay, we move on to question number 3. They glanced at the dead man. They glanced at the dead man. Begin. The dead man was glanced at by them. So we can say by they. We change they to them. So the dead man was glanced at by them. Number 4, he took the ball in the dressing room. He took the ball in the dressing room. So he is the subject. Took is the verb. Then dressing room. Dressing room. The ball is now the object. So the ball was taken in the dressing in the dressing room by him. So we can't say by he, but by him. So we need to use pronoun. Sweep the house. Begin. So let the house. So the subject, the object is here. So let the house be swept. Number 6, shift the table to some other place. Let the table be shifted to some other place. Number 7, Hamboma and Study challenged the lion. So the lion was challenged by Hamboma and Study. The last one, all the learners must avoid coming late to school. Begin dash 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 by all the learners. So this should be, it was typing errors. So by all the learners. So say coming late to school must be avoided by all the learners. So this is what I had for you. So let's hope you've learned one or two, and that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.